In this lesson, we are going to go over how you would actually mint an NFT with a piece of artwork that you would have already saved using Coinbase Wallet and OpenSea. So we're going to talk about how you would actually set that up and the process that you would actually go through. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually set up our wallet. And one of the easiest wallets that are out there for beginners is Coinbase Wallet, which is what we're actually going to use for this particular project. So what you're going to do is it's easiest actually if you use Chrome as the internet browser, because there is a browser extension available that makes this significantly easier to do. And I know that that Chrome is available on both Windows and Mac computers. The process might be slightly different between the two. I'm using a Mac right now, so that will be kind of the directions that follow for that. But the Windows machines will be very, very similar, if not exactly the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to navigate your Chrome internet browser to coinbase.com/wallet. So that's going to bring you to a page that looks a little something like this. Now, in terms of that browser extension, you may have a pop-up window that pops up that says, hey, would you like to download that extension? I don't actually have that on this computer. So I'm going to click on this browser extension guide, which is going to bring me to this page. And so the first thing I need to do is actually download that browser extension. So in order to do that, I'm just going to click install the Coinbase Wallet extension from the Chrome Web Store. So it's going to bring me to my Chrome Web Store. I'm going to click on Add to Chrome. It's going to ask me if I want to do that. Yes, I'm going to add my extension. It's checking some things out. I can use the extension by clicking on this icon. And so I don't need to sync it necessarily to all my computers that I have. So I'm just going to ignore that. But I've got that. There might be a couple extra steps, on the Windows version, but I'm going to create a new wallet. Now here, I am actually going to provide all of the teams with a wallet username to use, which will then just be transferred right over to the artists that you'll be working with. Now, if you wanted to do this on your own, certainly you can pick up your own wallet as well. But you will receive information on which wallet name to pick. And so I am going to choose, I'm just going to put sample wallet tutorial 1. Oh, too long. So it's just sample wallet tutorial. So that's going to be my wallet username. I could allow others to search for me. You're going to do that when you actually select for the artist. For purposes of the tutorial, though, I'm not going to pick that because nothing's going to happen with this wallet. So I'm going to hit submit. And you need to save the 12-word password, write that down somewhere, save it somewhere. You need to understand that if you use lose the recovery phrase, you will lose all of the crypto that's in that wallet eventually, which hopefully there would be a lot at some point. So we don't know what that phrase is. I'm not going to show it to you because there's nothing really going on here, but you're going to copy it to the clipboard. And what I usually do is I just open up my notes program and I copy and paste it. So it's going to just be like 12 random words. So it's going to kind of be gibberish. But you need to save that and you need to keep that somewhere because it has to be transferred to your artist. So you're going to click I understand. And actually, I'm going to pause my recording for just a moment so that I can actually save the backup word. You could also click on this to actually see it if you'd like, but I'm going to pause my recording so that I can go save those words. Okay, so I saved the kind of key phrase. And so I'm going to hit, I have to click that I understand that I lose my recovery phrase. I'm stuck. So I'm going to hit continue. And it's going to try to say, hey, we need to make sure that you saved this. So they want to know what the first and last things are. So for example, I'm just going to pick two random two. They're not correct, right? And so if I hit submit, it's going to be like, nope, that's not right. And so I am going to actually pick the correct ones, which now it'll let me continue. And now I'm going to create my password. So your password has to be at least 8 characters with at least one number. So I'm just going to weak password. So you have to make sure it's a, good password. All right. All right, so passwords match. I agree to the terms and policies. Your wallet is ready, done, and done. So that's all we need. We might have to pin this to the browser if we want to access it easily, so we can certainly do that if we'd like. I'm not going to, but I would certainly recommend it. So I'm just going, actually, I'm going to do it. So we'll just do that. And so our wallet is ready. And that's all that we need to do really for this piece of it. And you want to make sure you remember what your password is. So the next thing you need to do is you need to go and mint your NFT. So you need that piece of artwork. So in the Google Drive is the parent file or, the full size file of the artist NFT, the artist artwork that you'll be minting for them. It can be a photo, it could be a video clip, it could be an artwork, it could be music, whatever you'd like. You're going to need a total of 3 additional photos. You could use the same one each time, it's up to you. You're going to need a logo. You need the featured, piece of art, probably going to be the same as your NFT artwork at this point. And then you need a banner as well. The important thing to remember is that the photos that you use on all of these, right? The files that you use have to be taken in the correct orientation. So, if you take a picture with your phone, for example, and you hold your phone upside down, it probably will flip it for you, or you take it, in a certain way. The metadata on that, though, is going to be the original orientation, which is what is going to be pulled for the NFT. So you have to make sure if you're taking a photo, for example, your artwork should be okay. But if you're taking a photo that you then want to mint, you have to make sure that it's taken in the proper orientation. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually mint the NFT. And so we're going to use OpenSea for that. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to go into OpenSea.io. And this is what we're going to use. We are using OpenSea because they allow you to mint 1 copy of an NFT for free, which is great, which is what we want, right? And so I'm going to click on create. I'm going to connect my wallet. So we used Coinbase Wallet. So we're going to click on that. We want to see that we can connect everything together. Everything is connected. We need to have a signature here. And that's just clicking to say you sign. And so we're going to create our NFT. So I'm just going to take a moment to actually just pick something random on my computer. So I'll be right back in a second. I have to identify, I don't need you guys to see every single file on my computer. So I'm just gonna go really quick and identify something that we're gonna use as the NFT for this sample. And then we'll come right back. Okay. I think I picked something that some of you might have seen in your team packets when we were still waiting for artist artwork. So We can see here that they support JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, SVGs, MP4s, which is going to be audio, MP3, which is audio, WAV files, lots of stuff, right? So I am going to click on here and I'm going to pick, I'm just going to go into this and I have form an email grant. Whoops, not that. That's going to be your NFTs for the winners. I'm going to do artwork coming soon, just whatever. So that's the file that I'm going to pick. I'm going to just name it artwork coming soon. Now, you'll have a title for your artwork if the artist has provided one. If not, you can use the artist name or you can use untitled, you know, whatever. So you could change that. In terms of the external link, what they want it to be is you're going to pick something like that. I'm going to just pick, I'm just going to say artwork coming soon. You want to use either dashes or underscores, not spaces. Here is, you're going to have a description, some artwork coming soon. And you'll probably want to write something like, you know, first annual high school competition NFT. You know, we can change that later. That's not a big deal. In terms of the collection, we don't have any collections set up yet. So that's the next thing that we have to do. But before we get into that, some other things that are important to note here. You might want to, you know, none of this is explicit content, but if you were to be uploading NFTs as explicit content, you want to make sure that you toggle that appropriately. So the next thing that we want to do, and we're only going to use one, so that's fine. The other thing that we want to do now is we need to create a collection, because if we don't have a collection, we can't move any further. So that's going to be our next step, is going to be creating the collection. Okay. Oops, hold on. My hover went away. Hold on, let me share my screen again with you all. Oh, my hover went away. That's upsetting. Hold on. There we go. My hover is back. We'll just leave it like this. So the next thing that we need to do, like I said, is to create the collection. So in order to do that, you're going to basically hover over this information sheet, and then you're going to click on the word manage your collections here. So a new tab will open up where you're going to click create collection, and you're going to have your logo image, which I'm just going to have artwork coming soon as my logo image. You could have something else. Featured image, I'm going to make that the same thing just because that makes sense. And then my banner image, I have something similar, just the binary numbers. I'm just going to make it that, right? And so here you're going to name your collection again, or you might, I'm going to name this artwork coming soon. And again, I would say artwork coming soon, which is a valid URL as well. So again, artwork coming soon. And again, you could put, you know, that this is for the competition, or, you know, whatever, whatever you'd like. I'm going to add my category. We're going to say for what our purposes are, we're working with artists. So we're going to say it is art. And, you know, if your artist provided you with a website or an Instagram handle, which some of them had, you can certainly enter them in here. Ignore this creative earnings part. Ignore this part for right now. We can leave the theme alone. We've got some things that are missing here. So, oh, here, this is the error. So our entered value can only contain lowercase letters, numbers, and hyphens. So I got to get rid of the capital letters. That's the problem. All right, so you'll know. And we should have a create thing here soon. there we go. There it is. So now create should be, you have no errors, right? So create is going to be highlighted for us. It may take us a few moments. It says it's created. We've got our artwork coming soon kind of area here. We're not going to deal with that for right now. And we may have to reload this. We may not. Sometimes it takes a moment. I've had to reload before. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to start all over. And so you may not want to, you might want to create your collection first, but artwork. And hopefully our collection is appearing, which it is now. So my recommendation, just because I've had it work sometimes, more often than not, I've had to reload. So rather than go through all that, I would actually go down to where you would create your collection first and then reload and then kind of do the NFT part. So we're going to put it in our collection. We're just going to leave everything as it is for right now. I'm going to hit create. Do it again. Create. And that actually should take care of it. There we go. Now, one thing to note, you may need to, if you don't get this screen, you may need to pull out on the previous page the website that you entered or the website info, because I was having some trouble and it wasn't actually a real website. I was using a fake one. So you can leave that blank. So just leave it blank and you'll get, you'll hit create, you'll get this. You created artwork coming soon. And so now you've got that NFT created and we can take a look at that. If we go to the collection from the previous tab, if I refresh, I should have shortly, it takes a little bit of a while, sometimes half an hour, that artwork is now in there. We can also look at some of the details of that. We can, and one thing, here's another thing to note too. When we were uploading it, it wasn't showing the entire graphic in the frame, but see here, obviously it is. So don't worry so much about that. If you want to hit edit, so you could see I had to pull out that external link. So leave that external link blank. If I want to go back and edit the description or change actually the picture, and I could change the title, you know, we can do all of that. The artist will probably do that once you hand it over to them. But you certainly can do that if you want to be more specific. And let's refresh the collection page and see if it's showing yet. Oh, here we go. One item. It's just not displaying as of yet. So it's there. It's just going to maybe take a little bit of a while to pop up, and that's fine. But it's still created because you got that message that said that the artwork, oh, there it is. It popped up now that the artwork was coming soon. And so that's really all there is to actually creating the NFT in and of itself. So it's a really simple process to do it. Now, again, of course, we can only do one for free. If we wanted to do multiple copies, you know, you'd have to add money to your wallet and pay, but we're not doing that. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew how to do that and how simple a process it is. And your artist truly appreciates your work on this as well. So hopefully this is exciting. You know, you could start taking pictures of your dog or your cat or, you know, just nature, you know, whatever it is, and you can start creating NFTs of it. If you're an artist yourself, certainly you could. If you're a singer, you can start singing, you know, and posting, you know, the WAV files or the MP3 files and mint that as well. So that is our tutorial on actually minting an NFT.